What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over who is the better character between Traitor Meliodas and Purgatory Meliodas. We're going to be going over every content in the game and discussing which character is better in which types of content, and basically discussing who is better overall. So let's hop into the video. Before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We are on the road to 35,000 subscribers. Guys, I have my giveaway ongoing still till tomorrow. So you guys have till Sunday to actually participate in the giveaway. Click the link in the description to go to the video, and all the rules are, in that video and in the description of that video. So check it out. And with that out of the way, let's hop in and discuss who is better, Traitor Meliodas or Purgatory Meliodas. Alright guys, so let's hop in and discuss both the characters' kits, and then after we go over both the characters' kits, we'll talk about the content in the game and where each of them do well in, basically. Okay, so this is Traitor Meliodas. He came out during the 2021 New Year's Festival, and then, or I guess it was the 2022 New Year's Festival, and then the 2023 New Year's Festival was Purgatory Meli. But yes, let's just talk about it. Traitor Meli basically came out about around a year ago, and then Purgatory Meli came out only like a week or two ago, right? So let's go over Traitor Meli's kit. So first card here is going to be Amplify Single Target. You guys know what this card has done, or what it's able to do. So Amplify is going to be damage dealt 30% per active buff on self. So yeah, very cool. His second skill here is going to be Pierce AoE. So attack on all enemies, 100% of Pierce, and then it scales up to 250% of attack. 3 times Pierce rate increase on the actual card effect right there, which is really good. And then Traitor Meli's ultimate at 6 out of 6. So bear in mind, this could probably change depending on the dupes. Removes buffs and stances from all enemies, then decreases all stats by 30% for 2 turns. Inflicts cleave damage, which does not result in a critical hit, equal to 585% of attack. And cleave is additional damage equal to 100% of crit damage. So crit damage minus 100%. So it's literally just the amount of crit damage I would have done as no crit, basically. So it's very good. This ultimate at 6 out of 6, Traitor Meli, is absolutely insane. And then if we go to his passive here, we have offense, defense, hybridity. I don't know why they call it that. Every time allies use single target attack skills, all of the hero's stats are increased by 6% for 3 turns, stacking up to 5 times. If 2 or more single target attack skills are used in a single turn, allies' damage taken from enemies decreases by 8%, stacking up to 40% damage reduction. So that is going to be Traitor Meli's kit, guys, and he is obviously darkness typing, and the reason why we're comparing these two is because they're both darkness and they're both strong Meliodas in the game. But let's go over to Purgatory Meliodas now and go over his kit to kind of let you guys know what he's able to do. So Purgatory Meli on his first skill here is going to be Pierce and Strike. Inflict frenzy damage equal to 200% of attack, scaling up to 500%. This card right here has a brand new effect called Frenzy, which is 1% additional damage for every hit, a percent of remaining HP on the enemy. Yeah, so basically the higher the enemy HP, the more damage this card deals, and then it also has ×2 Pierce rate on the actual card effect as well. So it has Pierce, and it has basically like not flood, but like flood based on the enemy's HP, if you guys get my drift. And then on the second skill right here, we have another brand new skill effect, which is going to be Slash. So inflicts slash damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies and scales up to 300% of attack. Slash is additional damage equal to half of the hero's Pierce rate. So, based on half of my Purgatory Meliodas' Pierce rate, so we get about what? Wow, that's like 60, what is that? 63.5, I think, or 62.5, right? 62.5% extra damage on the AoE, which is really strong. And then yeah, that's going to be Meliodas' cards right there. Moving on to his ultimate, obviously this is going to be different because I do not have 6 out of 6, so we can't really compare 6 out of 6 ults per se. But if we go to Trillion Dark, which is the ultimate right here, inflicts magic burst damage equal to 550% of attack on all enemies, then applies suppressed damage taken on self for 1 turn. I think this scales up to 2 turns at 6 out of 6, and the damage reduction, or the damage taken, can get to 40%. And then yeah, Magic Burst, if you guys don't know what that is it ignores a specific amount of crit resistance and a specific amount of crit defense. I think at max it's 60%, or no, it might be, I don't actually know. I think it's 60% crit resistance and 120 crit defense, but I could be wrong at 6 out of 6. I could be wrong. But I know for a fact the damage taken, or suppressed damage taken, becomes 40% of max HP, and it's 2 turns at 6 out of 6, which is very good. And then we move on to Purgatory Meliodas' passive here, which is, as you guys can see, it's just so much bigger than Traitor Meliodas' passive. But let's talk about it, and we'll go over everything here. So applies 3 shackles of purgatory effects on self at the start of the battle. If an ally takes damage from an enemy skill during their turn, or if the hero uses a skill, 1 shackles of purgatory effect will be removed. Once the effects are completely removed, the hero applies true magic on self, and true magic is removed when the hero uses a skill. When true magic is removed, the hero once again applies 3 shackles of purgatory effects on self, then increase their damage dealt by 40% when attacking enemies that are either using a stance or affected by a debuff. And finally, you know how they put like so much work in it, they say, and finally applies an effect on the enemy or at the end of the enemy's turn when which removes 1 orb from the ultimate move gauge every turn for 2 turns on enemies who have not used a skill during their turn. And so if we go to see exactly what the Shackles of Purgatory and True Magic does, Shackles of Purgatory is demon allies damage taken minus 20% based on the amount of Shackles of Purgatory, so you can get up to 3, which is 60% damage reduction for the whole demon team. And then True Magic here is going to be removing all debuffs on self and attack related stats plus 50%. Very, very good, guys. So that is the kits of both Purgatory Meli and Traitor Meliodas. Now let's actually discuss which content in the game do each of them perform well in. So if we actually go to the first one being PvP. So PvP, this is just an outright answer for you guys. The better character is going to be Purgatory Meliodas. And the reason why is because it feels more so that like Purgatory Meli was made for PvP than like PvE, let's say. I feel like he was definitely more so made for that because of the way he works. You guys know the way he works, taking 3 hits, then he gets the true magic up, and he gets 50% attack related stats, and the fact that he gives demon allies damage reduction, up to 60% means that when you run demon team, the team is just super tanky. So overall, I think Purgatory Meli is going to be the better PvP character. Like, there are scenarios where you can use Traitor Meli on Demon Team 2, or even just like on an Alt Rush team or something, because obviously Traitor Meli's ultimate still is like a nuke. But this brand new Meliodas is just better in PvP outright. This is just, it's just facts. No matter what you guys say, Traitor Meli is just worse than Purgatory Meli in PvP, and that's a given. Okay, now that we're done talking about PvP, let's move over to the Demonic Beast battles. Demonic Beast battles is a very important part of the game in terms of activities, and let's talk about which characters are better for which content. So for the bird here, after testing out both Meliodas, on the bird, I would say Traitor Meli actually is better for the general player base on the bird. And the reason why I say that is because Traitor Meli, the way he works with his passive, which we talked about it earlier, right? The way he works is he actually gives up to 40% damage reduction for the entire team regardless of the race they are. The difference with Purgatory Meli and Traitor Meli is that Purgatory Meli can give up to 60% damage reduction, but only for demon allies. Whereas Traitor Meli can get you up to 40% damage reduction, and it's for team wide, no matter what race the team is. So Miguelda's gonna get the damage reduction. If I was to have like the one ultimate here, he would get damage reduction. It's just a very nice part of Traitor Meli's passive that I feel like will age super well. It's just the damage reduction effect that he has on his passive, which I think is very, very strong. And in Bird, when you're using Traitor Meli, the amount of buffs he's getting and the way his kit works with Amplify, you want to have a lot of buffs on self. So the more buffs you have on self, the more damage you're gonna deal. So I feel like the damage ceiling for Traitor Meli in the bird is actually going to be a lot higher than Purgatory Meli, but Purgatory Meli still is really good. Like, not to take away from Purgatory Meli on the bird, I think he's still really good, but I feel like Traitor Meli does have the edge in that, on a free-to-play player's account, the damage reduction that he's providing for the team, the single target damage, getting the amplify stacks from Miguelda and himself, right? I think overall Traitor Meli is going to be a better slot for the bird, and that is just my opinion. Alright, so for the deer, overall I would say Purgatory Meli is going to be better, just because he gets the true magic 50% attack related increase, and Traitor Meli obviously giving damage reduction to the team is really good, but I think it's not as necessary on the deer because you're already super tanky because of Jormungand's 60% all stats. And another thing to take into account is that Jormungand's not giving blue buffs from her buff, it's a gray buff, so not that like Purgatory Meli gains more from gray buffs, but Traitor Meli gains less from gray buffs basically. So I would say Purgatory Meli is better on the deer, but I wouldn't I just don't like running dark and light characters in general on the deer, so I wouldn't even run either of them. But you can definitely run both of them on the deer, and it's still an option. Alright, so now talking about Skull and Hottie, guys, in terms of the character that I would recommend for Skull and Hottie between the two would be a slight edge to Purgatory Meliodas. And the reason why I say this is because the cleanse that Purgatory Meliodas gets on his passive when he gets True Magic is very, very, very strong on, Skull and Hottie. You guys know how difficult Skull and Hottie can be sometimes when you're getting either frozen, when you're getting, like, infected, sealed, like card sealed. Like there's a lot of things that can happen on the like dogs that can affect you, and Traitor Meli is vulnerable to those, to those things right there. And another thing that Traitor Meli does lack in Skull and Hottie is that if he gets frozen, all his buffs are instantly gone. Whereas with Purgatory Meli, if he gets frozen, he doesn't really lose a lot. The moment he gets unfrozen, he gets the True Magic and he's back to being, the where he was, like basically. So he doesn't really lose a lot, whereas Traitor Meli loses almost all his damage instantly. So yeah, I mean, Traitor Meli does give you damage reduction to the entire team, which is a lot more beneficial than Purgatory Meli giving no damage reduction, because you're most likely not running Demon Team on Skull and Hottie. I mean, I did before, but you most likely aren't. And so there's like there's many situations where it's like, okay, maybe Traitor Meli would be good, and I honestly think Traitor Meli is still a solid option on Skull and Hottie. But if you have Purgatory Meli, I don't really see much reason to run Traitor Meli. Purgatory Meli will probably get the job done a little bit better just because of that cleanse and True Magic. He will probably hit harder in general than Traitor Meli overall. I mean, I guess if you're running like Freyr, then Traitor Meli could benefit a little bit more, and as long as you're always at maximum ultimate move gauge, then Traitor Meli's fine. But other than that, it's like you're basically trying to like protect him by making sure he's at max ult gauge and like all of that. So if he gets frozen, he really is like screwed. Whereas with Purgatory Meli, he doesn't really get much detriment if he is frozen, because by the time he's not frozen, he's back with True Magic and he's dealing a ton of damage again. So that's just my take on Skull and Hottie. So I feel like Purgatory Meli is better, a slight edge though in Skull and Hottie. And I feel like every other content, as we talked about, so the deer, it's Purgatory Meli, and then for the bird, I would give it to Traitor Meli though. So that's going to be the Demonic Beast battles. If we move over to death matches and we go to the demons here, so in terms of OG Demon, I would say Traitor Meli is actually better, because OG Demon is an Amplify based 3-turn team, because you're running Summer Dian, Freyr, Traitor Meli, and then the other person's running like a Red Gulther, Summer Dian, Traitor Meli. Like it's an Amplify based team, not a just outright 50% attack related team like Purgatory Meli is. Another thing with Purgatory Meli is that the way his kit works, it makes it so that he's not really like an active character unless he's getting hit. He's kind of like Assault Meli in that sense. Like he needs to get hit before he can start dishing out a ton of damage. Obviously, he can do a few skills and then dish out a ton of damage. But when you start the turn, you're only going to have 2 cards with him. 2 or 3 cards at most. Right? And if you get the 3rd card off, you don't get the attack related till the following turn regardless. So in scenarios where like you're using Purgatory Meli and he's going second and he's taking hits, then he's attacking, that's fine. But if it's like a death match and you need to just like have outright damage, Traitor Meli is going to be a lot better, because he's already has the buffs from Summer Dian and his passive giving him every time he does a single target he gets a buff. He's just going to be dealing a lot more damage in general, and overall I would say he is the better slot for OG Demon and still the best in slot amplified damage dealer. So yeah, that's what I would say for OG Demon. In terms of Belmos Demon, you're not really running light and dark characters on it, and if I was to say who was better though, if you were to run like hard mode or something and like you're not really built up like crazy, Traitor Meli is better, because as I said, you need a active character that like automatically can deal damage versus a character that like Purgatory Meli, he doesn't automatically deal damage, especially on Belmos. Like for Belmos, if you get hit, you're dead, right? Like you're instantly dead if you get hit, because you're usually dealing a ton of damage and then you're not killing, and then he one-shots you, you're dead. So with Purgatory Meli going like, well, not even going second, but like attacking first and then not killing and then you getting hit, he's dead. So it's, I don't know, I would probably say Traitor Meli, but overall you're not running Traitor Meli on Hell, because you're running like the mono green team with the the Danafor Liz rank up and like all of that, and like the Thonar backland. So I wouldn't recommend Traitor Meli or Purgatory Meli on OG or Belmos Demon, but if you were to like use either of them, I would say Traitor Meli is better if you're on like a hard or extreme difficulty, whatever the case. Like some of the lower difficulties, Traitor Meli probably will do better. Alright, and then we go to the normal demons, guys. In terms of normal demons, Traitor Meli is going to be better on Crimson, because again, it's an amplified based thing, just like OG Demon. If we go to Grey Demon, I think I don't even know if both of them are, I think Purgatory Meli is ranged on his single target. So he could deal damage on Grey Demon, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know if you would rather run him over, like, you know, Fess Merlin or like Green Skinny King. I really don't know if it would be warranted, but that's an option. And then Red Demon, it really doesn't matter. Red Demon is probably like the easiest demon ever now, so you could just literally auto it. So I don't really think it, you know, it's like a who's better type scenario. Probably Traitor Melee though, because he starts off with buffs and stuff. So yeah, man, that's basically covering like all, like, the majority of the content in the game. A lot of the other content would just be general PvE, but if we're talking about general PvE, I would give it to Traitor Melee, just in general, right? So if we're talking about like Tower Trials, I feel like, no, if we're talking Tower Trials, probably Purgatory Melly, because there's scenarios where like him getting hit and then getting tree magic's better. But like, okay, if it's things like, you know, where you need to have just straight up damage, Traitor Melly is going to be better. A lot of the PvE content in the game is just going to want you to outright have the damage instantly, and so that's why I would say, you know, for a lot of the PvE content in the game, Traitor Melly is still going to be a staple character. So that's the rundown right there, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who do you guys think is better? And we're going to end the video with who I think is better overall. I think Purgatory Melly does have the slight edge overall because of how valuable he is in PvP, and then how, you know, good he is in PvE still regardless, even though Traitor Melly edges him out in the PvE side of things. I do think overall Traitor Melly is better in PvE, but remember, there are scenarios where Purgatory Melly is better, like in Skull and Hottie and in Deer. So, you know, there are scenarios where I would say, you know, Purgatory Melly can be a better slot, but Traitor Melly overall, if you're doing like most of the general PvE content, he's going to be better in a lot of those scenarios. But I mean, you know, guys, use whoever you have. A lot of the content in the game, both Purgatory Melly and Traitor Melly can easily wipe. It's very, very easy using both these characters, and I think, you know, even Traitor Melly being a year old now, he's still such a strong character in the game that even if you know, don't even have like crazy amount of dupes on him, still a super valuable character for the account, even if you have Purgatory Melly. So yeah, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That is going to be the rundown of the Purgatory Meliodas versus Traitor Meliodas video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a good rest of your day.